Hello, welcome to Program with Sam, and this is R Lesson 1. So last time we were looking at how to get set up in R, and now we're ready to actually start writing some scripts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create a new script, and we're going to put a comment in it and call it Lesson 1. And what I thought we'd look at first is vectors. Now, in R, vectors are essentially sequences of data elements that consist of the same basic type. So you can think of them almost like arrays in a sense, because they are a sequence of data elements, and this could be objects or it could be numbers, it could be like raw data types, whatever. But you can't mix and match these objects, so to speak. Now, another thing that you've got to bear in mind with R is that it doesn't index from 0. We index from 1 in R, which is a bit weird, especially if you come from sort of like a programming background. But that's all because R is sort of more of a maths-heavy language. It was designed for mathematicians as opposed to programmers. But you can do quite a lot of cool stuff with it from a programming point of view. So when it comes to declaring a vector, what you can do is this. And then if I do that underneath, it should essentially create the vector and then output the contents. So because we override it by saying vector 1. And then if we do it, it should now have the number 1 in the vector, which it does. And we could do this again, and we could do vector is equal to vector 1, 1. And if we do that now, it should now have 3 1s, I believe. Oh, no, it's because we're rewriting it. So then vector 1, 1. There we go. And you could also do it in other ways, in the sense that you could have the vector and you can declare it with values right off the bat. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. And in that instance, you've then created a vector and you output it, and it's a vector of 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is useful for a lot of facets of maths and data science, in fact, because if you're doing something with the matrices, which we'll look at in a second, vectors can be quite useful in the creation of those matrices, or in terms of turning a matrix, so say an image matrix, into a vector, which you can then do, you can then pass through an SVM or something. So when it comes to using matrices or declaring matrices, one thing we can do is we can use the matrix function. So if I have a mat here and we do matrix, we can give it the vector and we can say it has n rows, and we'll say it has 2, and we can say it has by row. We can set to either true or false depending on whether the input vectors are going to be arranged by a row, essentially. And then there is an additional parameter called dynames, which is I think that essentially determines the names of the columns and the rows in the matrix, and you can then define vectors that have those names in there and apply them in that sense. So if we then just make sure this is working, so we've done that bit, we can then declare the matrix, and then if we output the matrix, you can see we have a 2-dimensional 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's done 2 rows and it's split by row. If we did by column, so that's by row false, you instead get 1, 3, 2, 4, and that's because instead of splitting by row, so it's going 1, 2, split 3, 4, and doing for 2 rows, what it's done is it's gone 1, 2 for the column, 3, 4, and split on that column divide instead. So obviously that's if we're using a vector, but what we can also do is we can literally just declare a matrix by using a vector in here. So we could have, say, 4 to 15 or something like that, and then if we do n row is equal to 3 maybe, and by row is equal to true, we can then run this code and we'll get something completely different, because what it's done is it's generated a vector with the values of 4 to 15, and then it's just outputted it like so. It's then done the row divide, so if we want 3 rows and it's splitting by the row, and that's how we get that. And that's essentially how you do matrices in R. If we wanted to do row names and column names, we could have a row names vector, which we could then call row 1, row 2, row 3, for instance. Except they all need speech bubbles, or speech marks rather. And we can do the same for col names. And in that case, we could have col 1, col 2, col 3. And then what we can do is we can do matrix C1 colon 9. So that should be 9 numbers. And then n row will equal 3. By row will equal true. And then die names will equal list row names col names. And if we give this a cheeky run, unused argument, die names. Did I do that wrong? Ah, yes, it should be dim names for dimension. There we go. And obviously it's renamed the dimensions, and you've got your matrix there. And that's sort of like how you would create a matrix and how you'd create vectors in R. One example of some of the stuff you can do with the matrices when you have this in R is you can do covariance matrices. So using the cov function and then putting your matrix in, you can then get covmat out and it calculates the covariance matrix for you. I believe you can do std as well on a matrix. We'll just check. And then if we check the output, we then have the singular value decomposition of the matrix. So it's, you know, it's pretty powerful stuff that you can do with R. And particularly if you're doing stuff with matrices or mathematics in general, R is quite a useful language to do. That's it for this time. Next time we'll be looking at loops and the apply function. We'll be looking at conditionals in R. We'll be creating some functions in R and then looking at how we can apply those. If you'd like to follow me at Program Sam blog or follow the blog directly at programwithsam.code.blog, that would be much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one.